I think we could all agree that the best ads are either high-end male model fragrance ads or extremely budget political smear ads. The high watermark of budget political smear ads being John Howard's 2007 attack ad against Kevin Rudd with that union boss that says, "We're coming back." If you don't remember, kiddies, prepare to be schooled in the most important part of political history, apart from, of course, Whitlam being sacked.
The unions are coming.
We're coming back!
They've threatened payback.
We're coming back!
They've threatened standover tactics.
We're coming back!
They've threatened revenge.
Extremely worried about that.
We're coming back!
The unions are coming. If Labor wins, it'll be a disaster for Australia's small business.
I think we'll be saying goodbye to quite a few jobs.
We're coming back!
Too much power, too much risk.
Authorised B.9 Liberal Party Canberra.
Perfect on every account. Every time you show the union boss, black and white, back to the small business owner in colour, it's as if a current affair had $500. So that's the gold standard, and in today's Jar Rules Fun Time Spooktacular Feet-Friendly Geordies, the ranking system for reviewing these attack ads will be black and white union bosses out of 10. Let's play. The first one being the Liberal Party's bread and butter, which is that the Labor Party doesn't know the difference between the economy and a credit card.
Can't understand government unless you understand the numbers. Understand the numbers.
As Labor's finance minister.
Damn, to quote that old cigarette slogan, you've come a long way, baby. I love that little rewind tactic. Let's just rewind on that.
Understand the numbers.
As
numbers. Understand the numbers.
Jesus Christ. It's like they got Oliver Stone to direct this ad. Look at him with their little back and to the left tactic.
Labor's finance minister, Michael Daly, left behind billions in debt and deficit.
Love the voice. It has to be a gravelly old man's voice. They've been changing it up a lot. It's almost like they're getting that SBS would like to advise that the following program contains adult themes. He's not right for an attack ad. Or they get some disappointed mum voice. No, it has to be some gravelly guy going, if Labor gets in, you won't see the light of Daly ever again. The minimum qualification for doing attack ads in Australia should be that you have had to have been a chain smoker, 2 packs a day for 30 years minimum.
If Labor get in, you'll pay for it daily.
Authorised by Chris Stone, Liberal Party of Australia, New South Wales Division, Sydney.
Excellent slogan, sick sound effect of the ting at the end. This ad looks like it had $700 worth of a budget, but unfortunately the voice at the end was slow enough for me to discern it, and so I'm going to have to take off half a point. 9.5 black and white union bosses out of 10.
Authorised by Chris Stone, Liberal Party of Australia, New South Wales Division, Sydney.
It's like he's speaking normally. That is not an attack ad. I think I can do it now. Authorised by Chris Stone, New South Wales Division of Liberal Party, Sydney. That was my first go. It's pretty much exactly the same. And the Labor Party using their bread and butter attack of, but they forgot about someone. You.
New South Wales Liberal Ms Berejiklian is pledging.
Yeah, see, not vibing the voice already. His voice sounds like he should be announcing Burjo's catchphrase. It's the same voice as ladies and gentlemen, Burjo's catchphrase. Doesn't sound hard enough. It's about as gravelly as a baby's bottom. It is the human equivalent of a tuba, while the other one is a rusty chainsaw taken up by that Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy going...
$2.2 billion to knock down and rebuild perfectly good stadiums in Sydney.
What is this weak piano in the background? Am I paying to see some excellent Japanese pianist? No. This was perfected in the 90s. Dark drone. Don't explore any other keys on the keyboard. Just go... for 30 seconds.
South Wales is suffering through record hospital waiting lists.
See, that's not scary enough. They're privatising hospitals. It is out on the open what their agenda is, and they're not hitting the public with that. And you know why? Because when they focus group the public and they say they're privatising hospitals, here's the evidence, they go, oh, conspiracy theory, Mediscare, am I right? Because the media has conditioned them that, no, it's all fine. I mean, what's this privatisation commission all about? You don't need to know, it's just a commission. So they have to go down the list to something that's way less scary, which is, you might have to wait a little longer for a tit job. And then people are like, oh my God, but I need to look hot now.
100,000 kids into mountable classrooms. A toll on the M4 for the next 43 years.
See, this is just gross. In my 10 years of researching Australian politics, I would say that the New South Wales Liberals, in terms of legalised corruption, are the second worst government in this nation's history, apart from Queensland LNP governments, and that is a low bar. Jobioki Peterson was pretty much Saddam Hussein, but killed slightly less people. These guys have done permanent damage to the Murray-Darling. They're clearing as much land as Brazil does each and every year. They have privatized $70 billion of mostly profitable government services that are now way more expensive. None of that. It's just, you have to pay a little more on the M4. How much does that suck? What's with all this traffic on the M4 as well? I mean, Hughesy and Kate is entertaining, but for a whole 2 hours? I can't believe this. There's so many scary things that are happening in this state, but because it's not visible to the public and is deliberately hidden by the media, the billboards that you see is just like,
You want cash back on an M4 towel?
Power prices up 60% in New South Wales after Liberal privatisation.
well, that's good. I think they should do more of that instead of the nurse going, oh my God, my penalty rates. They should get more concerned grandmothers going, that's a bit much, isn't it? That's what's made current affair number one for the last 20 years, is some old person shuffling in going, when I got my bill at first, I thought it was a mistake. And then it was. They charged me even more than that when I rang them up.
Ms Berejiklian chooses...
I've got to say, that is one of the best scary black and white photos I've ever seen of Gladys Berejiklian going, trying to make herself look like an anus. So, I will give them points for that, but all in all, it's getting pretty low marks. Let's just finish it off.
Because under the New South Wales Liberals, you don't count.
Authorised by Callum and Australian Labor Party, New South Wales, Branch Sydney.
All right, they've won me back. That is the fastest I have ever seen anybody do that. Did they get Eminem to do that? That is as fast as his verse in Rap God.
Authorised by Callum and Australian Labor Party, New South Wales, Branch Sydney.
It's not enough to redeem it though, as we've already said. That last part is just a cherry on top. So that only gets half of a point. 4.5 black and white union bosses out of 10. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity, if I may. I'm usually always focusing on the corruption that is indicative that comes with a Liberal government, because the entire donation base is virtually extremely wealthy people and very profitable cashed up corporations. So their entire governing prism is just, how do we make those people happy? A lot of their decisions are always on that level, but there's also the fact that they're extremely incompetent. A really good example of that is the light rail in Sydney. While construction was commencing, because it's just so poorly planned, they started digging up and then power just went because they started digging up Ausgrid energy cables that they didn't know about and weren't in the contract. And then they went to the New South Wales government and said, look, there's a huge power line where you want us to dig up. You didn't tell us about this. And then their response was, well, I didn't know. You are the government of New South Wales. Shame! Shame! How do you not know that? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they don't know. It's because they have hollowed out the public service in this state, which is what they always say, of just like, oh yeah, we're just getting rid of all the red tape and all those bastard bureaucrats that are soaking up your money so we can give that money to private companies. As a result of doing that, the engineering and planning departments in New South Wales now are skeleton staff like everything else is. So they don't have the manpower, knowledge, or time to properly check any planning or engineering projects in New South Wales. So the company that they got, which is from overseas, should have been Australian. They are suing the government $1.1 billion on top of this already extremely expensive and overinflated project, which it always is with the Liberals, because it's just jobs for the boys, handing out these contracts to developers and construction companies that they owe favours to. That when they just come back and they just go, yeah, how much is this bus stop going to cost? Well, I mean, we could maybe do it for 50 million. All right, and they just tick it off. They're suing them for $1.1 billion. It is scary looking at all the little sectors of government in New South Wales and watching them just waste $1 billion here, $2 billion over there. It's always $1 billion. Just once, I would not like to have that reaction of looking at an amount of money that has been wasted and sounding like some anime character that's seen something that's so shocking that they go, eh? Naturally, the project has been delayed by years because they went to this hollowed out Department of Planning and said, how long will it take to make a light rail? 2 minutes. You've got 2 minutes to plan it all. Go. You're on the clock. And so obviously they just sat there without the expertise that they used to have, just quickly penciling in calculations and going, 2 weeks? So the project is already blown out by $500 million. A lot of small businesses along this area have closed down because there's just constant construction there. And if you're running a meditation studio and then there's a jackhammer out the front going, Just imagine that that's a hummingbird. The fact that they're constantly saying, oh yeah, we're the party of small business, they are currently costing Sydney's nightlife billions of dollars a year. And it's just so much worse that this is a huge infrastructure project. It could have been invested back into Australian businesses, but no, because yeah, we can do it for a little bit less monies. And so they just went, oh, a little bit less, ka-ching, went to them. So now they are paying a foreign company to destroy Australian businesses. And another example, they used a South Korean company to make the trams. They brought them to Australia. They're 20 centimeters too wide for the tunnels. If you are 2 millimeters off, a builder will swear for like a week straight. Nothing else in his vocabulary except for fuck. 20 centimeters off? You may as well have been off by the length of the Simpson Desert. I was off by a centimeter in my first woodwork project for a box, which affects precisely no one. I almost failed. So anyway, up until the election, all the videos will be about the New South Wales election, because I would much prefer there be 3 more years of a federal Liberal government than 4 more years of a New South Wales state government, because state governments have a lot of power, it is not reported, and as a result, they are allowed to get away with murder. The light rail is peanuts in comparison to what the New South Wales government has gotten away with. Tune in to find out more. Even if you're in Queensland or Victoria and you know someone in New South Wales, to quote one of the lamest lines in the entire Star Wars franchise, "Help me, Cane Toad One Kenobi, you're my only hope." Tell them, please, vote Labor this election. It is an extremely tight race because it gets no coverage. So they sit there and think, oh, heaps of construction. That means they're doing something, right? Yeah, they're fucking up the state. Come see my live show, Why John Howard Really Sucked. And come on, give this a like. At the very least, help a brother out. I'm pretty much the squeegee guy, except for instead of asking for $1, I'm just going, got any more spare likes? Cheers, mate.
Please share and comment below. Comment.